Things have been real strange around here lately. Wednesday afternoon, the internet went off in the neighborhood, well, for about 20 people from what I can gather. And this is Friday, and AT&T said it won't be back up till Sunday. This is in the middle of a major city. They said there was someone bored into the cable, but they can't find the location of this breach. So I've been without internet for a few days, which is in one way a blessing because I can catch up on some of the tapes, but the intensity on the street has picked up dramatically. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know, maybe it's a quakening, whatever it is. March 1st, that's yesterday. One of the first people to walk up to me, I asked him what he did, and he said he was a federal agent. And when I asked for whom, he said the following.
Inspector General's office.
Well, you're just the guy I wanted to see.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This is what I do to try to, corral my insanity. I don't suspect you could hang any of these on the office walls at where you work. Huh?
Oh, this one here, they'd be okay with that.
They'd be okay with that one?
Yeah.
See you, man.
So let me ask you, now that I got a professional here,
Uh-huh.
I had to ask you this.
Go ahead, shoot.
Are we going to see this?
Nope.
You're not?
No.
Why not?
It's impossible.
How's that?
A grand jury has to go in front of a grand jury, and the grand jury has to be asked to hear it and render a verdict, indictment or a no bill or a true bill. It's not an automatic process. Someone has to give the okay for the grand jury to convene and the grand jury to hear it. So it's never happened.
Okay, who do I have to call to get a grand jury convened to do that? I mean, I'm looking at Jim Hutton from Judicial Watch. I'm sure you're familiar.
No, it's never going to happen.
Really?
It's never going to happen.
So all the crimes she's committed...
She's going to get away with all of it.
She's going to get away with all of it.
She's going to get away with all of it. Every bit of it.
Do you think the American people are just going to take that?
Yeah, they sure are. They sure are.
Because they're so... It's just... Because they're such...
Because they're stupid.
They're stupid. That's it. That's
don't
the
know
whole
any
thing.
better. They're stupid.
The majority are so freaking dumb. They just do
Well, the
whatever.
majority, yeah, but it always takes a small group of dedicated people to change the course of history. It is the dedicated people that will do something that won't stop, that will, tenacious, that, should prevail, especially if you're taking it through the courts. I mean, their evidence is there. I mean,
He's been in this for 25 years.
It has to be presented. It has to be presented, and the Department of Justice picks and chooses what it presents, and they're never going to pick that.
He's been doing this
Never
for
gonna
half
do
of his career. Meeting his
that's why I'm asking, because I'm talking to everyday people on the street don't have the knowledge this man has, and I'm trying to find out, and they're questioning why isn't this happening?
They think things are done the way it should be. It just doesn't seem like things really. She should be able to get away with it, but she's going to.
If she committed a crime that called for the Department of Justice to react, then she would. But this, you're
so all these investigations about into Uranium One,
it's just BS to satisfy people. Nothing. It's just smear. It's just smearing.
You're not helping me out here with my attitude at all. Well, thank you. I do that all the time too. Thank you for doing that.
It's just a smear. It's just smearing. We don't indict anyone. We just talk about indicting them and smear them, ruin their reputation.
That's what I've been getting. Because it always seems like, well, next week they're coming out with, next month and it goes. Like they're talking about the Department of Justice coming out with their analysis coming out in the next couple of weeks. It's supposed to back up the Nunes memo.
Right.
So again, like you say, we just keep on seeing the crimes, but we're not seeing any justice.
Nothing. There will be no justice.
Well, how long can this country survive?
It can't. It won't. But all three of us will be dead by then, though. So. I think he's got another 40 years, and then the wheels will fall off.
Yeah. It's sad. Yeah.
The sad part is dumbasses are voting for.
May I take a photo?
Sure. If you'd like to contribute to the Bulletproof Vest Fund, any small
Take care.
donation.
Yeah,
Thank you for
get a
your
kick out of
candid assessment. Appreciate it.
Our 17-year-old, he gave her a bulletproof vest for Valentine's Day.
But here's something. This is a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton. Yes. And apparently it's good for any crime in the world.
Yes.
All right,
Yes, it is.
Well, that wasn't too encouraging. How's that for being honest? We're never going to see any of these people in jail? What the hell am I doing out here? Then on the next day, the very first man I talked to happens to be a lawyer from Arkansas who had connections with the case that just recently resurfaced about the two young kids that got murdered in Mena, Arkansas. And then this conversation ensued. Came out, he's got a GoFundMe thing, but he came out and admitted to being there, admitted to witnessing the murders, admitted to seeing the boys dragged on the tracks, and said that the whole thing was being orchestrated by a high Arkansas politician.
Yeah, my client never told me who the name of it was, and then my client got killed deer hunting. It was a murder. It's unsolved to this day. Now, there was another murder in Benton associated. Now, my client had been subpoenaed to testify in that case. I had him on an unrelated drug charge.
Yeah.
And he said, "You will not believe how high this railroad track thing goes." I did not ask him, and he did not tell me.
Yeah.
But just the way he said that makes me think, I might not want to know how high this damn thing goes. And he got killed.
Well, indeed. I mean, I've heard as high as over 330 murders can be traced back to the Clintons. Now,
everybody who got subpoenaed in that case, almost everybody, either something happened to them. One of them, there were at least 2 murders that I know of.
Now, do you think they will ever be brought to justice?
No. Not unless a trigger man talks.
Well, the one who's talking, I mean, you have the one in Arkansas talking right now.
Was he a trigger man or a witness?
He said he was both, because he's a professional wrestler, so he was an enforcer for them.
Well, they may very well get to him, but other than that,
Well, he's on video. You can go.
I was unaware of this.
If you video right now, I'm sure if they haven't already taken it down, but if you were to video, bodyguard confesses to Clinton teenage murders. I mean, just do the search. That you will come across this guy on tape. I saw him on InfoWars. So InfoWars had him on.
Huh.
They showed the clip of him had on and said, and it was amazing. This guy was very lucid, very detailed, and you can tell he was trying to clear his conscience. He was going,
getting to be an old man, he wants this off his chest and getting ready to meet his maker.
And he's saying, I can tell you who that politician was.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more than just one I'm thinking local prosecutors were involved. It went all the way up to
the rest.
At that time,
the bodyguard said that there was the cops that killed the kids.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah.
I think there was a cabal. Just my hunch, because they started to get somewhere in that investigation before it was shut down, and it was leading to Saline County prosecutor. He went to jail on unrelated charges. I would say unrelated, but he was convicted of possession. He had drugs in his house. His wife ratted him out. The ex-wife. They got a divorce. Ex-wife ratted him out. He had drugs in the house, but I'm thinking he was involved, and they may have had a hit squad of cops for all I know. So
yesterday, this is not boding well for my. I'm not getting a lot of encouragement from you know, professionals like yourself. I asked the guy what he did, and he says, I'm a federal agent.
Really?
Right. 25 years in. And I asked him, are we going to see that? And immediately he said no. And that kind of broke my heart. I said, why not? He says, because a grand jury needs to be called in. And right now, the people we have in the Justice Department aren't going to call a grand jury.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking, too.
Really?
We're not going to do it, yeah.
But the people, I mean, I'm out here on the streets, and I'm telling you.
As soon as they started, right when this came out, that we're not going to prosecute because she was careless rather than
we all went, what?
That's the jury question. And what it is that saying, I don't want to prosecute this politician.
Thank you for granting me this time with your husband. I rarely get, when I get a chance to talk to someone with this much knowledge. Yeah, thank you.
I try not to pass for a lawyer. Nobody does.
Oh, well, that's correct. No, that's kind. Believe me, you know.
I don't want to look like one.
Yeah,
but you know, that's a jury question. They could have put that before a jury and let the jury decide whether or not that was reckless enough to lock her up. But they made the call, and that's just it. And now, in a way, I don't blame them. Last thing you want to do is try and prosecute somebody like, where are you going to get a jury? You know, it's just going to be a
couldn't
mess.
It be?
But
couldn't it go beyond that to military? Because we're talking now about national security treason. Couldn't this go into a military or more like a Nuremberg type trial?
No, can't do that. You can do it with a foreign national, but you can't do it with an American citizen. Now,
but what about when treason is committed? Because if you're looking at just the Uranium One deal alone,
that's what I'm more concerned about Uranium One and that damn Clinton Foundation sucking money in.
Well, to me, these are, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm looking at it, I'm thinking my toenail clippings could indict these people right now with the evidence.
Open bribery.
Yes.
Is what this is.
That's what I'm saying. So why, I mean, you're telling me we can't get a grand jury or some justice together because this is treason we're talking about.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And we can't get justice for this?
Not with the current group in the DOJ. It is staffed. Well,
then why doesn't he do something about it? Why does he call Sessions in and go, you're out of here? And
he, to some extent, that is quietly going on.
He's been putting in some judges and whatnot that seem to be.
That is the big deal.
Yeah.
Got to have the judges. Once we get the judges, and we got to have lawyers in the right places.
Yeah.
Lawyers on that side of the fence at that level get hard to find. And
I'm finding that.
Because they're all in private practice, raking it in. They're not going to go be public servants anywhere. They don't want to. Now, some of them, when they get older, they get closer to retirement age, and they want to do something for the country, and they're sick and tired of this shit. Okay, they'll be willing to serve, a pay cut is what it amounts to serve the DOJ. If you're doing multi-million-dollars a year in private practice, why would you want to go serve in the DOJ, the federal government, on a pissant salary? That's why they don't do it.
And with the cynicism I get a lot from the people that work in the system and all, is that the system is so corrupt now that, because I mean, after not just 8 years of Obama, but decades of us going down the socialist shithole, that it's just too far gone now. It's going to have to collapse. We're going to have maybe a revolution is what we need in an election.
Thought long and hard about how this is going to end up. I don't know. But I wouldn't rule out some blood may have to spill before this is over.
The tree of liberty from time to time must be watered by the blood of patriots and tyrants.
Right.
Sir, it's been a pleasure. Let me give you a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton.
Well, I'm sure that'll work.
Yeah, it seems to have worked so far.
It'll work for her. I'll drop a little something in your
God bless you, sir. Very nice. How you doing there, you Jim?
Thank you.
Good. Where are you guys from?
Britain.
Britain? You got your own damn problems.
Yeah.
The Scottish people.
The Scottish people. Oh God! See, the tyranny reigns everywhere, doesn't it?